recording. There we go. Okay, my name is Andrew Ferris, and I'm the founder and CEO of On This Spot, the history and tourism app. And we are today going to discuss. I'm going to go over all of our offerings and cover quite a bit of ground. First, I'll be talking about our story, how we came to be, because it kind of fills in a bit of our our mission, values, and our principles and how we function. And then I will go through all the different kinds of tours that we've created in the past for different partners. I'll show you. We'll do an app demo. I'll be showing you all the different kinds of history tours, but also the different kinds of even other kinds of tours that we do on all kinds of different other subjects, as well as tours that are in all different kinds of formats. We've been developing a lot of different capabilities doing that. So we aren't just an app developer who hosts tours for our clients, although that is something we absolutely can do, but we are a tour creator. We have a great team of researchers, writers, photographers, videographers, editors, all kinds across the board. So we are really excited to share that with you today. So going into our story here, this started as my travel blog, and then I just wanted to make high quality history very free and accessible to people. I've always just been extremely passionate about history. That's been my background. I studied that in school. And I realized that with doing in my travel blog, then and now photographs proved to be an enormously effective way to get people to really engage with history. It creates a really tangible connection with the past. And I found that, whenever I'd make for my blog these then and now photo essays, starting with Nagasaki, in about 2013, 2014, I found that those pages would go viral, especially even with people who aren't typically interested in history, because when you can see how a place has changed, it really creates a tangible connection to the past. And we found that with a large number of so I came back to Vancouver and I started doing, which is where I live, and started doing these then and now photo essays here. They were, I quickly realized that, every community you can do then and now photo essays, and in every community people love them. As well, I really wanted to connect those then and now photos with really engaging, exciting history. And so I partnered with my friend and a brilliant developer, Chris Reed, to build this concept into an app that married the concept of then and now photographs with high quality, really engaging history that would, surpass people's expectations. We built it in Vancouver. We launched it with 600 then and now photos and 11 walking tours. And it proved enormously popular. And so once we developed it there, we started looking to partner with other communities across the country. These are different kinds. So since then, we partnered with museums and heritage societies, tourism agencies, BIAs, and Indigenous municipal governments to develop coverage and in their communities. And this isn't just, as we'll soon see, not just then and now photos, but all kinds of different content. So here's the basic principle of behind the app. So I'll just do a little quick demo here. As you see, we put all of our cities into a single app. This makes it so that we have about 70,000 users. This makes it so that whenever someone is using our app, they can see all the other content that is near them. And we also sort the content by what is closest to you when you open the app, so that wherever you are, you can just open the app and see what's nearest to you and what community. So I'll just show you Vancouver. What we do is we create these what we call crossfade images. These are used. We sell these as prints as well, which prove quite popular. We create this art. People love it. And, it's great for marketing and social media. And then we have a list of tours. And so these are some of the. I guess we have 12 or 13 tours now in Vancouver. We'll take a look at the stories of Granville Street. So the idea being, every stop on the tour is where a photographer was standing when they took a historic photo, and we can you can see we have a map, so it takes you. You can follow the route along. You can jump around in the route. We're really improving our mapping capabilities, but as you can see, you can kind of and then we include these with write-ups that are we take a skimmer, dipper, diver approach, which is meant to engage people of all interest levels. We also have this really cool feature. It's the in-app camera. Now, I just took this the other day, so it's not on site. I have some other demos. But what you can do is you can create your own then and now photo, and actually superimpose the past over the present. We also are we have an editor that allows you to finger draw yourself in, overlay the two, the then and the now photo, and create your own then and now, and create your own, single crossfade image, which effectively means you can superimpose yourself into historic photos. Now, we are quickly going to be expanding on that. We've taken out that editor for now, just because it's for development reasons, but we'll be adding it back in as well. We also have just tons of these what we call standalone images as well, which I just went through there, which means that there's tons of photos that are not tied to a particular tour, but we're able to use those and add them as it gives replayability. People can walk around and see what's in their neighborhood, recreate photos all over town, and all of those standalone images, we write a little bit of history to go with them as well. So that's our basic then and now, like sort of a bread and butter approach to history. But what we have done is, that was like how we started out. Now we've like very much, so this is like what we can do for pretty much every community, but there's also many, many other kinds of stories that we have been telling. And so building out from this concept, what we have since done, first, we have now coverage in about 120 communities across Canada, mostly across Canada. We have a couple American partners, and we took some of the stuff I did for my blog in Europe and added that as well. But we've partnered with over 100 organizations, falling in those 4 different categories I mentioned earlier. These would be, heritage, tourism, government and indigenous governments, and BIA's business as well. And so those 4 different kinds of partners, really, they're quite evenly spread across the country, because we're able to kind of advance the interests of all those different types of organizations. And so because we're able to draw tourists into a specific location, advance history, I'll do all kinds of stuff. Since then, what else we have added is the capability to do all these other things. So we also, before we started out, we would create all the tours with our team of historians and writers and researchers. But now we also host them. So if you have your own tours, this is a much, nice, very easy price point for a more budget conscious partners, or ones who just want to get, they already have tours that they love and that are already great quality. We can host them for them. Video is a massive new thing we're doing. I'm really excited to show that off. We also do audio. We do narration of our walking tours, but we also build specific driving tours as well, that you listen to as you drive, and so they are meant to be accompaniments as you drive along specific stretches of highway. We're doing quite a few of those. 360 virtual tours. We make apps, do drone photography and video, and translation, and we do analytics and digital advertising. Now, and thank you, Sam, for saying what saying that this is cool. I want to, if anyone here, just because I'm going to run through all these, it's a lot of ground to cover. So, and I have a lot more I could say about any one of them. So, if you're interested in any of these, just put in the Q&A, and I can focus on those a bit more as well. In addition, I don't want you to think that we are just a history walking tour app now. While that is like the main thing, our bread and butter has been in the past, we also do all kinds of different, we can focus on different areas, right? It's not just like walking around town and recreating then and now photos. It's also, we do our places of indigenous significance, and this is where the video tours have really been coming in. We can do historic and archaeological sites. I would say like pioneer villages and stuff like that, like heritage villages. And we've done archaeological sites for, Canada's First World War internment camps, which are located like in the mountains. And we had to approach those fairly carefully because, they are, you don't want people like climbing all over the sites and stuff, but we want to kind of take the people as close as we can to them without, leading people to start ransacking them as well. We can do, historic downtowns. We can also just do tours focused on businesses. We have one and say, like, if you have a list of tourist attractions that you want to draw attention to, we did that in Sault Ste. Marie. We just have a list of tourist attractions. We also have a number of mural tours and public art tours. We want to, when a lot of communities, especially BIAs, want to emphasize placemaking and stuff like that, and get people to really appreciate this art that's being developed and funded in their community. What we can do is develop tours that go with that and allow, and also, instead of having like a plaque, I guess, having to put up a plaque at each of these stops, they can take the tour. It will guide them to each one, and this is they can learn about the artist, the art, read like get links to all the artist materials, and this is generally this is much cheaper than actually building plaques and stuff, and also it gives you a lot more, like you can write stuff like whatever. You can there's no word limit or anything. There's no content limit to what you can put there, so there's all kinds of stuff you can put there. There's also parks, trails, and nature. Really like trying to do more ecology and geology tours. Working on those, or kind of combining them with the virtual tours. Movie filming locations. This is something that we think we ought to be doing a lot more of in Vancouver. We did Hope. We did Rambo. The movie filming locations in Hope, British Columbia, and that was a really cool one. And we're hoping to do more of those. And then, yes, of course, we can combine all kinds of regional content together, so that we have a number of our partners will be like, say, a regional tourism organization. And we will develop content in all those different communities and try and then build driving tours that take people on itineraries through those different communities, so that everyone gets a piece of the pie rather than just the most popular attractions within a particular community, within a particular region, rather. We want to kind of spread, like our approach is really good for kind of raising awareness of lesser known locations and places that don't get as much tourist traffic, or say historical interest as might be the case. All right, so we'll just go through these. Hopefully you can hear this. So this is our audio tour. So I'll just do a quick demo of audio tours now. So what we can see here, so this is like one of our audio tours in Nanaimo. What you can see. Yeah, so we can do, so I do some of these narrations. We also have a couple of voice actors that we've worked with for some of the projects. And so what we do is we can record these in English. We also say many of our projects we've done in French as well, such as a driving tour, audio tour of the Acadian sites in Albert County. We have a French translator, a very talented French translator, and a narrator on our team. And we also have German and Spanish as well. And we've worked with, we translated some of our content into Chinese as well. And also ultimately, we're hoping to start adding audio kind of and text versions of Indigenous languages as well. When we're working with Indigenous partners, we're hoping to do a bunch of Ho'okaminam in Nanaimo and Duncan on these projects that we're working on soon. But yeah, audio tours are just, they're proving enormously popular. And I think it's, everyone's kind of seen, like, even museum guides and stuff. When you can go through a museum, you can punch in a number and it will have like an audio tidbit that comes up. We have that capability. We can do that for you. We're doing that for Duncan right now with their Totem Bowl tour that I'll return to. And we can do that with so it can be either just an audio narration of a traditional walking tour, a driving tour, or like a museum guide that walks you around a museum. There's really no limit to the way we can develop these tours. And then video tours are something that we are also really thrilled about. Okay, wait. So video is we started out with a couple of our projects that were video based. We were basically shorter documentaries where a then and now walking tour was not like appropriate for the site, but they wanted some material. And so we're like, well, let's make them a documentary. And so we got some practice doing that. And then now we've become quite good at it. And so for initially what we did was a project for working with Nanaimo to and the Sanemo First Nations and in and around Nanaimo to do video tours of interviewing Dave Baudelet, who is the Indigenous Knowledge Keeper, Chief Indigenous Knowledge Keeper of the Sanemo, and one of their elders. And what we were able to do is record him, cut that footage with all kinds of stock footage that we're able to access, as well as a lot of drone footage and our own stock footage that we create, as well as say clips from interviews and stuff like that. And then we have been working so that we launched that earlier this year, a number of tours, working with them. And then now we are working with the Cowitson in Duncan to do a series. They have Duncan is Canada's totem pole capital. There's 40 totem poles. So we are doing short videos at each of these totem poles where we talk about the artists, what they were thinking. And yeah, here, I'll just show you some of this video because it really is. And we used so this is a test video. We've used Dave Baudelet has happily kindly narrated it for us. But we haven't launched this yet, and we'll be using a different re-recording it. But you can see this is how our our talented video editor works. In this, I'll just show you some of that work. Yeah. Anyway, we're really proud of these. We'll be shortly developing 40 of these such videos, incorporating them with a virtual tour, which I'll show you. Here's how these video tours, they can be combined into say like a YouTube playlist, but obviously they're meant to be viewed within our app. And so here's how some of our Nanaimo Sanemo projects or video tours have come out, appeared and within the app. So we have, all right, I was just gonna skip this one ahead. Oops. Oh, right, I hate it when that happens. Yeah, it's difficult for me to. Anyway, it's the mouse kind of. All right. Well, the mouse comes up. Anyway, they are integrated. We have a bunch of these video tours that are integrated within the Nanaimo content, and the idea being that every stop along the way is like if you have a tour guide, they don't have to be constantly available to do these tours. Right? Is what you could do is we could record your tour guides and then have them and then allow them to people to access these tours within the content now within the app as well. And then I don't know, like we are offering, say, for specific tour guides that they have their own tours. What we can do is say paywall that material. Currently, everything on the app is free, and we really want to try and keep everything. The idea being we want to make history as accessible as possible. But and here you can see how they work within the app. And then you can hop around. So you follow along, and Dave doesn't have to be there because he's only doing tours so many times a year. We don't want to take away from Dave. We want to encourage people. And this is just a wonderful project to work on. Dave's it's very eye opening, absolutely, just to say the least. Also, yeah, we can include this is as well within the Nanaimo. We include all the local businesses, everything. The Nanaimo Hospitality Association, our partner there, gave us a list of all the tourism related partners or businesses within the community. So we're able to put those on our map, right, and promote them as well, alongside all the regular content. which means, it's like it's not really this a very unintrusive advertising. Now, there's an awful lot of content within Nanaimo, as you can see, from all different kinds of categories, but there's a lot of stuff in Nanaimo, which is why we have done some more work with them. There's another thing we did with Nanaimo is a aerial virtual tour. So if you have a museum, we can do virtual tours that are indoor, outdoor, and they can work on computer, on phone, obviously within the app. But we have all kinds of different content or all kinds of different ways we can approach virtual tours. Do we have a YouTube channel? We do. We need to we need to add some more. Yes, we do have a Petroglyph Park one. So with just I'll ask that. So we can add all kinds of different content within this virtual tour, and you can navigate around also within the app. So it's kind of like another layer. What we're hoping with these virtual aerial tours, because we haven't seen, I haven't really come across them anywhere else, but using the drone to take these 360 shots from the sky, it's kind of like a middle layer between that map and like all the spots on the bottom with all the content. And so it's like another way of accessing it. So we can overlay all the, say that you have a bunch of businesses, you have a bunch of then and now photos, you have all different kinds of content. We can layer that all audio, video, whatever. We can layer that all into the virtual tour and give people, it's great for getting people to plan a visit to your community. And so, yeah, and answer your question, Sam. Yeah, we do have a YouTube channel, but we haven't uploaded a lot of these videos yet, or we have, but they're not. They're unlisted currently. We are just so with these. There's been some we're kind of waiting for. We launched Nanaimo. We have permission to launch it. All this the indigenous Sunamo content there, but they want to have a proper ceremony to launch it. With Dave, honoring him and celebrating this huge project, because this project was part of an effort to kind of preserve their history and stuff. So we haven't really promoted it yet, and we haven't put it up on our page until they kind of set a date for the ceremony. So so it's up. It's on our website. If you go on our website. On the spot, the Nanaimo section will be Petroglyph Park tour, the Say Suchin video tour, and Departure Bay, or sorry, the Sunamo name is evading me right now, but that's all there, and it'll be on our YouTube channel soon. Same with the Duncan one. That one's just in process. All right, so we have virtual audio, video, and as well as the then and now photo tours. We have art tours, all kinds of different kinds of tours. So as you can see, we've because we're a small company, we just we love challenges. So we talk to our clients and potential clients. We say find out what they want, and then we do our best to see, oh, can we do that, and we go ahead and do it. We develop it. We develop the capability. Oh, thank you, Sam. That's very kind of you. Yeah, no. Saying that so that our project is beautiful. So that's very nice. So we're able to just follow, we have all these different kinds of capabilities. And so, what I like to do within these webinars is to, emphasize, like, if you have ideas, if you have desires, like, tell us what you want, and we'll see if we can do it. And hopefully we can. Moving along, another thing that our clients want is their own apps. Now, one of the, we've always thought, like, one of the advantages of our approach with having a single app is that it's very hard to get people to download an app and keep it downloaded on their phones. So by having everything on our single on the spot app, that works fine. We're able to kind of retain those users, and also whenever we add new content, we can make users aware, all across the country and all across the world, that we have added this new content. We kind of have a built-in user base that way. But oftentimes our partners will want their own app, and that's totally fine. That's something we can do. So Nanaimo, which includes all these, say, such and video tours and stuff, has wanted their own white label app, and they have an enormous depth of content and everything. And so what we did is we developed basically just a spin-off version of the On the Spot app. Now, all the Nanaimo content is still within the On the Spot app, but we made them their own app called Explore Nanaimo, which is the same branded, it's branded, with their own colors, color schemes, and fonts and stuff as they like. We launched it. We're just about. Once again, it's tied up to this ceremony that we're waiting for, but it is basically it's ready to go. We're able to do that for our partners. So you're able to control your own content, and it has the same functionality as our own app, and we can do it very, very, very reasonably, very cheaply, and we will maintain it for you for years. We see a lot of because we're developing our own app and we are quite invested in it. We see like a lot of other communities. What happens with them is they will develop their own app with a particular app developer. The app developer will just take it on, do it, and then they'll move on to another project. What this typically means is that as the app stores change the requirements and stuff over time, keeping an app on the stores is a moving target. You have to keep maintaining it. It's not like a website where it will just keep working for years. You have to keep maintaining it. And so with app development, a lot of those people, those communities that develop their own apps, once the app developer moves on, then the app just becomes obsolete within months sometimes, and they kind of get screwed over. So what's great about us is that we're going to keep working on our app for years. We're going to be here for a long time. And because we're doing a white label app for you, once again, that's we will keep working on it. Any developments, as we're going to keep adding features to our app, those will automatically be put into your app as well. So if you want your own app as well, we're happy to develop that for you at a very reasonable price. Also, if you want your own app that is not a white label, which means it's a completely different app, we can do that for you as well. Right now, we are just working for North Fan Arts, the North Shore Culture Compass Treasure Hunt app. We've just begun this project, but we are going to be working on this very intensively for the next 6 months. And it's a treasure hunt app, and there's all the capabilities that we develop for that app. We're going to port back into our app, so we're going to have all kinds of treasure hunt features, which would be like, say, using the then and now photo camera. Say if we require people to to figure out a clue or solve a treasure hunt, they have to go to that spot and take a picture of the right thing. We could have GPS based clues, all kinds of different trivia, multiple choice, all kinds of different kind of tour inputs. And so what we want to do is make it so that there's all different kinds of ways that to gamify the app, so people can get badges, people for achieving stuff. They're using the camera, they're out taking more and more tours, and that way we can kind of keep people coming back to the app and sharing it with their friends and doing it with their friends and making it a really exciting interactive experience. So if this is something that you're interested in, well, we will be able to put that into your project as well, and quite straightforwardly. So that's something that we're quite excited about. So that's if anyone has any questions, let's see. That's pretty good so far, I think. That is like most of our capabilities. So once again, just want to emphasize that we can do whatever you like, more or less, for developing tours and making sure that they are fit your type, your best, what kind of story you want to tell. Because say for instance, like, we are really pleased finally to have kind of gone towards video tours, because video tours are a much more appropriate way of telling, sharing Indigenous history than then and now photo-based tours written by our team. Like, it's not appropriate for us to be writing that, and also the then and now photos are not particularly relevant a lot of the time, and are difficult to recreate for Indigenous communities. And so, and that's not the best way to tell those stories. So video, I would say, a recording Dave Audelay or other Cowichan elders and stuff like that is the perfect way that we give Indigenous communities their own voice. We're not stepping on their toes or anything, but in fact we're just giving them a platform and our best capabilities to tell their stories, share them as far as they like, and in a respectful way. And so yeah, I mean, just to say that there's all different kinds of storytelling techniques that work for different situations. So happy to discuss with all of you afterwards and see what is your situation, and we can figure out what the best way to share your stories is and get people excited about visiting your community, exploring it, and learning more about it, and kind of feeling more engaged with it. So our partnerships. So as I mentioned earlier, we partnered with over 100 different organizations of all different sizes, shapes, and sizes. We've had a lot of different experiences, and so our largest, we've worked with, say, our partner is like the city of Edmonton, population several million people, or the hamlet of Gleason, population like 200 people. These are communities of all sizes, governments or heritage museums or whatever, representing peoples of all sizes, and with all different kinds of missions. We've worked successfully with these communities, and we will be able to work successfully with you. You'll be working with me a lot probably if you work with us. So also, we developed a set of ethical standards of public history. It may be an app, right? A lot of people kind of tend to look down on apps as like unserious, unacademic, it's not like a book. But we are trying to change that, right? We take our role as public historians very seriously. We want to make sure our content is high quality, stands the test of time. It's academically sourced and defensible, and will be evergreen. It'll, we don't have to like go back and like rewrite the tour in like 3 years. And we're also, we're updating, like, say, a lot of local histories that generally were last written in the 1960s and 70s. At the end of the pioneer era, or like when the sort of pioneer generations were dying out. The way that history is written has changed an awful lot since the 60s and 70s, especially regarding marginalized communities. And so that's sharing those stories, making sure we do the work to follow those threads, and make sure that we are able to conform to modern historiographical standards is very important to us. And so anyway, I'd be happy to share our ethical guidelines with anyone who's interested in. Also, like I said before, a lot of communities, if they get their tours on an app, the app developer just goes away. Another thing is, like, we want people to use our app. That's kind of what we're all about. So it's as much as our interest as it is in yours to get people using the app. So we give you a lot of tools to help you get people using the app, such as developing printed materials for you, providing analytics so we can run advertising campaigns, etc. There's all kinds of different things we can do for you. And then we just, because our partners come in all different shapes and sizes, they have all different kinds of funding, capabilities, spread over time, or if it's grant based or whatever. So we're very flexible in our pricing, and we want to make sure we try not to shut out anybody who wants to get on the app, and so we try and come up with a solution for everybody. And so we have an enormous range of different types of approaches we can take with with every kind of budget and organization's goals and stuff like that, so that we're able to if you have a budget, if you're interested in getting on the app, just talk to us, and we'll figure something out. No, we'd love to work with you. As I said, we also provide analytics. We can provide quarterly analytics reports upon request. Here's like an older example one we did with our seminar partners. What we're able to do is say the black spots are then and now photos, and this heat map shows where people are when they're doing the walking tour, right? So we can trace where people are when they're doing the walking tour. We can just show, like a lot of our BIA partners especially need to show, or how many people, like what is the ROI on this project, and we're able to be like, there are tourism and what's the word, formulas developed for the tourism industry, where we can take this information, plug into the formula, and you can put a dollar figure on the number of people who walked by a particular business while they're learning about that history about that business. And so we can prove that there is a great ROI on it. We also, we can do all kinds of stuff with QR codes, get people on the website. And we're also very good at getting media whenever we launch a project, just because, media loves to run with our then and now photos. And it's like a good news story, everyone likes it. We got to just make everybody happy with this stuff. So, yeah. And then, I'll just leave this here. Some partner testimonials. from some of our past partners. We do really well with our we stay engaged with our partners, check in on them, make sure that they're happy, that they're getting, people using the app. If we've launched something, we can kind of come back and be like, hey, here's, come back here, like, years later, and we try and check in quarterly or every half year with our partners, but check in with them, come up with here's new features we have, here's new ways that we can get people using the app, and find out more about what they want, and keep building on that, so that it's a great way to keep benefiting the community, keep it fresh. It's not just like a project that's done and like one and done and forgotten. And it's been and it's just been a wonderful experience for us, like working with all these fascinating, wonderful individuals across the country. And we really hope we get the opportunity to work with you. So yeah, actually, we did pretty well for time, despite the first few minutes off with the audio issues. But yes, so I want to thank you all so much for coming today. I really appreciate you taking the time, and no, I will be following up with a recording with an email, and hoping that we can get in touch and see what works with your community. And yeah, if you have any questions, now's the time as well. I think, and otherwise I will I'll stop the recording now, and